actually good. Thanks for joining us on the news. President Muhammadu Buhari has returned to Abuja after attending the 71st session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, United States. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president had a series of engagements with other world leaders on issues of significant interest to Nigeria during the week-long visit. He arrived in Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, at about 5 o'clock Sunday.
Talk of the Lake Chad Basin Commission. These are all issues that Nigeria had been championing. Suddenly, Nigerian issues became global issues. And therefore, it's not surprising that at the end of the day, Nigeria is going home with over $300 million in aids to the Lake Chad Basin region. It's a good development. There are also promises of aid and help even to internally displaced people in Nigeria.
Meanwhile, Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Oyama says President Muhammadu Buhari is pushing for the establishment of a United Nations agency dedicated entirely to youths on the premise that this will create
to keep the United States, I think, engaged with the eyes still on Nigeria in the area of security, helping with the, as far as the economy is concerned, encouraging U.S. businesses to come and invest in Nigeria, and of course helping us with our anti-corruption drive. And we're hoping also, at least they've shown an interest in selling us some military hardware, subject, of course, to the congressional approvals.
The minister also shed light on the Sustainable Development Goals for effective domestication.
World leaders, including U.S. President Barack Obama, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, French President François Hollande, and Switzerland's President Johann Schneider-Ammann all took turns to extol President Buhari's leadership. Lai Mohammed appealed to Nigerians to allow it serve as a source of hope and pride to all who have borne the brunt of the difficulties associated with the current economic downturn, as well as the country's negative global image in the past. While thanking Nigerians for their perseverance, there is no doubt that by continuing to give their unalloyed support to the president, they will be ensuring that these tough times will not last. He said the
20 honor stated this at the Thanksgiving and Harvest service held in Abuja, as reported by Ifeanyi Zumba.
The Harvest Thanksgiving is an annual event that brings children, youth and parents together to show appreciation to God for his mercies. Reverend Ono, taking his text from the book of Corinthians, said leaders should seek God.
Military liaison Bishop Alfred Adewale Martins as a man who God has specially assigned to carry out his work.
The director is a professional, so he knows how to advise the leadership of the armed forces.
Every one of us, if we can begin that change, that self-attitudinal change, I think we will do the best.
Some officers who have done well severally in their areas of duty were recognized. In Lagos, Annie
initiates more women empowerment programs in order to lift them out of poverty.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's 56th independence anniversary kicks off with an interdenominational church service held at the National Christian Center in Abuja. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the occasion urged Nigerians to remain positive that the country has brighter days ahead with the Buhari's administration. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
The message is due to the loss of value through corrupt practices, urging the federal government to continue in its efforts at finding solutions to the challenges.
With full assurance of faith that tomorrow will be glorious for this nation in the mighty name of Jesus.
The interdenominational church service was attended by some serving and past leaders of the country. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NT News.
And to other news, the Nigerian army says the latest video clip released by the so-called Abubakar Shekau faction of the Boko Haram remnant group confirms an earlier suspicion that the purported faction or terrorist group leader is mentally sick and unstable. Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sunny Ade, says the leader of the group, in his usual insane manner, made all sorts of assertions to the point of threatening various towns, groups and individuals. He also made futile attempts to deny the air raid by the Nigerian Air Force, in which he was wounded. The public, especially residents of Maiduguri, Kano, Kaduna and Zaria, are enjoined not to bother with the contents of the video, as the military is more than equipped to defend them given the facts on ground. The video, the army says, clearly indicates that the so-called Abubakar Shekau has derailed.
And if it shows that I, the chairman, has gone out of my way to say certain things that I ought not to have said, I will excuse myself and my deputy to take charge.
Already, the Chairman House Committee on Rules and Business, Representative Emmanuel Okejev, had appeared before the committee on Friday to testify. Ignatius Nkwo, NTN News.
Today is World Pharmacist Day, used by members of the Pharmaceutical Federation around the globe to highlight the important added value of the pharmacy profession and its role in improving health. In this report, health correspondent Rabi Abdallah takes a look at issues revolving around orthodox and urban medicines in Nigeria.
Pharmacists are the men and women who supervise the production, preparation and assessment of quality of medicine from pharmaceutical companies. This is in addition to their role of dispensing medications prescribed by physicians. A peep into the country's pharmaceutical subsector reveals a lot of challenges.
The issue of plague, even the antimicrobial resistance, some of the industries, when you go to their warehouses where they used to have a lot of raw materials, it's so pathetic. That's an insight. So many of them, they have applied to many banks to source products for the raw materials, but they cannot get it.
Nigeria is one country in the world that is richly blessed with arable lands where numerous medicinal species of plants grow.
We are not tapping into the immense natural resources as to nutraceutical, herbal, alternative medicine that we have locally, especially those ones that have gone through due process.
The political will has to be put in place. Formulated policy that will aid the market. We also need to improve our interaction with the pharmaceutical industries for us to know what are the needs.
If we can be supported, the whole West African coast, even Africa, Nigeria will be a hub as far as pharmaceutical sector is concerned.
Security of medicines entails that people at all times have access to sufficient, safe and affordable medicine for their health needs. In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
And the Nigerian Air Force Officers' Wives Association (AFOWA) says it will leave no stone unturned in improving the lives of widows and dependents of Nigerian Air Force personnel. National President Hajia Hafsat Sadiq Abubakar stated this at the inauguration of Nafowa Little Angels Primary School, NAF Base, Kaduna. Defense correspondent Isaac Ukuma reports the wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, was the special guest of honor.
The Nafowa Little Angels Nursery School, Kaduna, was established in 1999 as a daycare center. Over the years, personnel of the Nigerian Air Force had to take their wards outside the base to get primary education. This informed Nafowa's renovation, expansion and upgrading of the school with state-of-the-art learning facilities. Hajia Hafsat Sadiq Abubakar says Nafowa's participation in education is geared towards providing quality and affordable education for children.
This project demonstrates Nafowa's commitment at complementing the Nigerian Air Force efforts as providing quality and sound education.
What we have seen today clearly demonstrates that NAFOA is actually adding value to society.
Mrs. Aisha Buhari, who was represented by the wife of the Kaduna State Governor, Haja Hadiza El Rufai, expressed optimism that a conducive learning environment for the children will lay a good foundation for their future. From Kaduna, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
The remains of veteran broadcaster and seasoned administrator Mohammed Al-Amin, who died last night, had been committed to Mother Earth. Correspondent Mohammed Saidu reports that late Al-Amin, a former zonal director in NTA, was buried in Yola.
A seasoned journalist, late Al-Amin Mohammed started his journalism career in 1974 when he joined the services of the Nigerian Television Authority NTA and rose up to the position of zonal director, where he retired in 2009 after putting in 35 years in service. On retirement, late Al-Amin Mohammed took up an appointment with a private television in Yola, Gotel Communication, as its managing director, where he piloted its affairs for some years before finally retiring from active service. Late Al-Amin, who passed away at the age of 70, died after a protracted illness. There was a funeral prayer in honor of the deceased at the Federal Medical Center Yola, where hundreds of friends, former colleagues, including the general manager NTA Yola, Malam Yakubu Babayo, and relations attended. Later, his body was put to rest at the Yola Cemetery. Some people speak on the life and times of late Al-Amin.
When we were in the zonal center in Maiduguri, he's somebody who does not believe that there's world like it's not possible. No matter how impossible it is, don't ever tell him this is impossible.
We lost a pillar in the broadcasting industry. He was a humble man. He was full of humility.
He is survived by one wife and 3 children. In Yola, Muhammad Saidu, NTA News.
May so rest in peace. And now talking sports, National Youth Games kick off in Ilorin, Kwara State with skating and rowing as exhibition events as Bundesliga defending champions continue on the path of winning. Amazi Marcus reports.
The second edition of the National Youth Games opened Saturday at the University of Ilorin Sports Arena, with more than 2,000 athletes from more than 20 states and the FCT participating. Minister of Youth and Sports Development Solomon Dalung said the competition is meant to produce future stars.
It is therefore my hope and aspiration that this edition will follow the same notable path of history by producing podium athletes in different sports.
Kwara State Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development Kale Ayo, who represented the Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed, said the Youth Games represents hope for a better Nigeria.
I urge you not to relent in your effort to achieve excellence in your chosen sport. However, it is my view that this quest for excellence must translate into your educational process too.
Correspondent Abdul Wahid Bibiri reports that the athletes will compete in 12 sporting events of athletics, badminton, judo, taekwondo, karate, chess, wrestling, Scrabble, table tennis, cricket, and wrestling. In the German Bundesliga, defending champions Bayern Munich maintained their perfect start to the season with an 87th-minute goal away to Hamburg to earn the 3 points. Carlo Ancelotti's team now have 15 points from 5 matches. In another Week 5 encounter, an injury-time header from substitute Michael.
Remember that you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And that is the latest development from our news desk. We thank you for sharing it with us. Becky will be back with your Sunday Tonic Newsline after these messages.
Morning. Morning.
Good morning.
Hey, how are you today? How are you? Morning, my son.
Hello, what's up?
Welcome, man.
Good morning. How are you?
Everybody is coming back to campus and nobody wants to leave because with Glow Campus Data Booster, you get 10 times the value of your data while on campus. That means 10 times your chatting, browsing, pinging, and more.
Who are these people? Come on, get this. What the?
With Glow Campus Data Booster, you get 10 times the value of your recharge in data and talk time while on campus. Dial *777# and choose your campus booster plan.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Abwad University Farm, designed to revive agriculture, invite distributors for multi-purpose products of wood factory, moringa products including seeds, oil, creams, capsule, powder, tea and soap, plantain chips, mango pulp and juice, fresh or smoked fish from 52 legs of 50,000 fishes each, organic mushroom, pigs, guinea fowl, turkeys for all festivities, Abwood feed meal product, sinking and floating fish feed 2 mm to 8 mm, poultry broiler starter, grower mash, layers mash and finishers. For distributorship inquiries, contact the marketing manager on 081-213-66990. Email olusheyitanimola@gmail.com. 2016-2017 admission into Abwood still in progress. Contact the registrar on 080-3350-9150 or 081-277-2121.
Abwood, a vision in motion.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Bayes University Abuja offers world-class education, uninterrupted academic session, and promising degrees for a sustainable job. Bayes University Abuja is affordable and delivers quality with experienced international staff, superb facilities, overseas external examiners, and a serene academic atmosphere. We offer quality and affordable education, and students are within easy reach of their parents here at Bayes University Abuja. So learn to live at Bayes University for a brighter future. For more information, visit our website at www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng or call 081 3376 9657 or 081 3376 9658. Bayes University Abuja. Learn to live.
National Pension Commission, in partnership with Pension and Investment, the World Pension Summit announces the 2016 edition of the World Pension Summit Africa Special.
By the next time we sit here today, we would have developed sustainable pension principles for investments.
Pension funds should not be seen as a savings on the people who put their money in the funds to be used for current government's consumption.
The Summit for All Africa Pension Professionals presents Impact Investing, the outlook for African pension funds, the dynamics of pension investment, emerging insurer role, actuarial issues and their impact on pension benefits. Theme for this year's summit is Pension Innovations, the African Perspective. Date is 27 and 28 September 2016. Venue is Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. Visit www.worldpensionsummitafricaspecial.com to register.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Thanks for staying on the line. They call him Crazy Legs. That is not the name given to him at birth. He acquired the name as a result of what he does with his legs. You will know what I mean by the time Paul Ogashi in Lagos is done telling us the story.
Vesima Mende, an indigene of Benue State, is 23 years old. His friends call him Crazy Legs because of the feats he's able to achieve with his legs. He was born physically challenged. His lower limbs did not develop fully. This is not all. His right hand is also deformed. But the situation he found himself has not discouraged his progress in life. For example, Vesima is very active in sports. In wheelchair tennis, Vesima is in the court category. This category is for those who are physically challenged in more than 2 parts of the body. In his class, he is presently the nation's number 3.
With the bundle of talents abounding the guy, he has broken all barrier, not to think about his disability, to be able to play tennis at this high level.
He has the training schedule for other sports like wheelchair basketball. I was indeed very surprised to see him in action with his teammates. As far as Vesima is concerned, he is not physically challenged.
To me, I know that I have legs. Anybody that thinks I don't have legs, I have legs. I use my legs in playing football, not hands. This thing you're calling, this thing you're seeing, to me, is legs. Not any other thing but legs. So I use it in doing anything at all.
Surprised by this, I wonder whether he can play football. By the doubting Thomas that I am sometimes, I presented him with a football. Check him out. At weekends, Vesima Mende strips his sportsmanship and becomes an entertainer. I went to an entertainment spot where Vesima is a dancer. Transformed from the footballer and basketballer to the entertainer, Vesima's hairstyle and makeup were attractive for a man without legs. You can now see why he is called Crazy Legs.
If you are an artist, you have to look like that. Or like if you are into football, sports and all those ones, you have to be doing your hairs like this. That's why I decided to keep my own too like this.
He says as an entertainer, he does not perform free of charge.
Dancing and sports, those are the two things that are giving me money to take care of myself for now. Sometimes I do make like 40,000, 50,000, 100,000.
He has flair, he has passion for what he does.
With his condition, he didn't want to constitute a nuisance to the society.
Out of curiosity, I sought his relationship, especially with the opposite sex. Is he married or has a girlfriend?
Yes, I have a girlfriend. Not even
she
one.
Here?
No, she's not here right now.
Not even one?
Yes, why I say not even one. It's just that I'm looking for a better one that has a good character. That's why I say not even one. But for now, I've already choose one. I selected one among 10. I selected one. That one is the best, and she's good.
All said and done, Vesima speaks directly to the physically challenged.
So many of them, they need all these small, can I call it change, all these 10 naira by the roadside. Somebody will just pass and give them, hey, take this one, take this one. They will be very happy, they will be looking good. But to me, I always tell them that no, that one is not the best way. Because if you can go to any other place for the government to help you and open a place for you guys to be learning handwork.
Crazy Legs has fantastic talents, quite an inspiring young man. Is a practical case of ability in disability. Our next report is still connected to legs, but this time the female legs. Most women love to wear shoes that are high-heeled. You would agree with me that high-heeled shoes bring out the elegance in women. What, however, you may not know is that there is a lot going on behind that elegance. Behind the pain that most women in high-heeled shoes experience are other implications. Regardless, for many, it is a must-wear. Let's hear what Nancy Anonihu in Abuja has to tell us about this.
A pair of high-heeled shoes has been a good friend of women for ages. They come with these fashionable names and shapes, such as the kitted heels, pumps, stilettos, wedge heels, wedge sandals, corner heels, sling-back heels, and ankle strap heels. By the Vogue, it is hard to see a lady in a social gathering not on a high-heeled shoe, or as it is demanding for the corporate world.
I love high heels shoes. It will be very difficult to give up my heels. When I'm in the office, I move around often and the job can be pretty hectic. And to get it done, to move fast and to ensure that you meet your target daily, I just put this on.
When you dress up with your flat shoes, it doesn't really give it that package, but once you wear your heels, there's this elegance, even with the step, the way you walk, the carriage, the whole package is together.
To many, high heels give them an advantage of height in a gathering, good poise, gait, and complement their clothes. For instance, box or conical heels go well with English wears. Pencil heels match the miniskirts, and platform heels are striking with trousers. In most cases, the lady's mood determines their choice.
I got back from church very tired, 6 a.m., and I've been up and about, and I didn't want to put extra pressure on my nail.
I prefer the pin one because I think it's more elegant. It makes you, like for me, it makes me walk better. It makes my steps more calculated. And because sometimes when I wear flat, I tend to walk randomly.
Well, it is all going by the tides of time in fashion. But coping with the inconveniences of high heels and the craving, some say, can be described as dignified discomfort, or as the saying goes, heels and pains are sides of the same coin.
It's not as if I feel that comfortable, but I just love wearing high heel shoes. I'm not so tall.
After several trials, I think I'm better off on wedge.
Although painful at times, but if you remember that you'll be looking elegant and fine. You endure the pain.
Whichever takes center stage, whether pain or adornment, high heel shoes have come to stay. And the higher the demand, the better for the people in the business.
Many of them are here and we are making sales.
Ankara materials are compatible with hilly sandals like this.
But again, there is more to the love and use of high-heeled shoes and their attendant implications with just one medical advantage.
For ladies that have pelvic urinary incompetence, that high heel shoe actually help in strengthening pelvic muscles, like it gives it a lot of exercises. But on the overall, the negative effects are much more. The ladies wearing high heel shoes, they have high tendency of sprained foot and even fracture around the ankle.
From the spine, there is supposed to be some certain weight that is to be carried by each of the vertebral bones and also the pelvis. So by the time one stands on high heels, you change that equation in the body. So for you to stand erect, the lady would have to push her spine, the lumbar region, forward, and as a result, she would also have to move the chest as well forward to have that balance. She strains the muscles of her back just to maintain her posture. So over time, those muscles get strained.
The shorter the heels, the better for your body, because long use of high heel shoes, especially when they are over 4 inches, have a big toll on your body, because in your old age, it can cause arthritis.
Now, what is it about the vogue and style that far supersedes the discomfort and the inconveniences?
Our heels are fabulous. They are here to stay. Forget the pain. After all, no pain, no gain. Moving on, when officials of the National Commission for Museums and Monuments in Lagos came knocking on our door during the week, it was to invite us to come see firsthand what a Lagos family had done to a national monument. This monument, known as the Iloba Bar, is located in the Lagos Central Business District. In summary, this family, in partnership with a developer, brought this monument to the ground. What is the implication of this act? Here's our story.
This was how the Iloba Bar looked before it was destroyed by some members of the Olaya family, who inherited the property from their great-grandparents. The structure, which was a Brazilian architectural piece, was built in 1826, that is, 190 years ago. It stood the test of time as the best of Brazilian architecture, designed by those Africans who regained their freedom from the Portuguese colonial masters in Brazil and returned to settle in Lagos. It was the historical value of the structure that propelled the federal government of Nigeria to provide protection for the edifice as a national monument through Gazette 25, Volume 43 of the 5th of April 1956.
The demolition has eliminated the tangible evidence of social and cultural impact of the transatlantic slave trade and its abolition. It has wiped away an outstanding source of memory and history of freed slaves that their roles and impact in the evolution and development of cosmopolitan urban Lagos has been wiped out completely. At the same time, it has destroyed one of the outstanding symbolic evidence of cultural ties between Nigeria and black diaspora in general and Brazil in particular.
The Iloba Bar, now a national monument, has been a property of the federal government, preserved and maintained by the National Commission for Museums and Monuments. Then one day in October 2015, a member of the Olaya family alerted the National Commission for Museums and Monuments of the intention of another family member to demolish the monument in collaboration with a developer. Officials of the museum promptly informed the Lagos State government and swung into action to halt any attempt to demolish the monument.
The stakeholders agreed that all necessary steps must be taken to safeguard the monument from any threat, including involving law enforcement agencies and placement of notice on the site notifying members of the public about the status of the building.
Despite this, however, certain members of the family continued with their plot, and on the 11th of September 2016, with the help of a developer, succeeded in pulling down a federal government-owned property, duly certified a national monument.
It will be reconstructed and fully restored according to professional restoration standards.
What is the implication of this?
The action is not only criminal, but it has robbed us of an important heritage resource that helps define us as a people and assist our understanding of our past and our projection of the future.
Folashade Awoboide is a granddaughter of the owner of the property.
Dr. Victor Abimbola Olaya that signed the paper, and the rest, like Secretary Ayola Olaya, Mr. Debo Olaya, and some of our family too, they signed it. So we too, we tried our best that the building should not collapse or they should not demolish it.
This singular act has wiped away history. Who now can tell the story of the Iloba Bar, the only Brazilian legacy in Nigeria with no structure on ground to show for it?
We shall keep you posted on this developing story. Now we all know that when anything is maintained, it degenerates and finally breaks down. So maintenance is the key to longevity. It is, however, sad to know that most Nigerians lack the culture of maintaining things, especially when such things are for general use. So we find public infrastructure wearing and tearing out and finally degenerating due to lack of maintenance. This cuts across the length and breadth of the nation. Here is an example of the lack of maintenance culture of Nigerians in this report by Musa Toliat.
The cosmopolitan nature of Lagos requires efficient public infrastructure in all spheres of life. It is on record that successive governments in Lagos State had introduced various innovations in some sectors with a view to making life easy for the masses. However, Poor maintenance or sometimes outright lack of maintenance had adversely affected such infrastructure. For example, there were several transportation schemes introduced in the past which eventually went into oblivion as a result of poor maintenance. There used to be the Lagos State Transport Corporation, otherwise known as LSTC, Lagos Municipal Transport Service, LMTS, the Jubilee Transport, as well as the Labour Transport Service.
Generally, Nigeria is poor in maintenance culture. Most of the things that we buy, when it got bad, we threw it away. Even in the government area, you see even the money that needs to be used won't be used because people want to gain money to their pocket. Therefore, what they need to maintain will not be maintained.
Federal infrastructure in Lagos, such as roads and bridges, are also not spared from lack of maintenance culture. The Third Mainland Bridge is the longest bridge in Africa, spanning a length of 11.8 kilometers across the Lagos Lagoon. In view of its huge relevance in connecting the mainland with the Lagos Island, it is on record that the 8-lane bridge has not experienced any form of underwater assessment and maintenance on its piled foundations.
I'm appealing to them that by God's help and also having pity to people that are working on it, that they will put more efforts to maintain the bridge properly.
Sometimes when we are in the box, the bridge always makes some shaking that we do not understand about it.
The oldest bridge in Lagos, the Carter Bridge, has not fared any better. This is because since its construction, no known routine maintenance has been carried out on the colonial relic.
God bless this country. So I see no reason why that the bridge or all the road that belongs to the federal or state government will not be maintained while we have the money.
I believe they should be doing the routine maintenance at least quarterly.
Carter Bridge really fading. A lot should be done to make sure we avoid a national disaster. You don't spend billions of naira on an infrastructure and you leave it like that, you just die. So I think more attention should be paid.
Before, like road maintenance, they have those who maintain roads from time to time, even clearing the bushes by the side of the road, maintaining potholes. But today, there's something like that. Until the whole thing go bad, a contract of billions will be awarded. It cannot be done.
Although the strategic symbol of Nigeria's independence, the Tafawa Balewa Square, is currently under the maintenance of a concessionaire, the Parliament building had been abandoned several decades ago.
I'm not happy about it, personally, because this is what portrays us when we got our independence. Everybody should come down here and see how it is. It has to look better, maintained.
We intend to keep up with the awareness until maintenance becomes a culture in Nigeria. How about that? Next up, King Sunny Ade needs no introduction. He is a legend. Everyone calls him the Juju Maestro. Yes, he is a king of Juju music anywhere in the world. This icon is ageless. During the week, he attained the landmark age of 70. And who would believe it, going by how young he looks? His dancing skill is matchless. His mastery of the guitar, I'll stop here for our correspondent in Ibadan, Bola Ugulano, to complete this piece on the king as he turned 70.
Happy birthday to you.
Musical tributes by Yinka Ayefele to Juju music legend Prince Sunny Ade, popularly known as King Sunny Ade, who clocked 70 recently. The veteran Juju musician, a singer, songwriter, dancer, and multi-instrumentalist, was born into a royal family in Ondo on 22nd September 1946. King Sunny Ade pioneered the introduction of many instruments into Nigerian pop and Juju music, and still a toast of fans of Juju music.
King Sunny Ade is a good lesson in vision, determination, and creativity for the young ones.
King Sunny Ade
music in particular is very philosophical. It's very loving. When you want to talk about love, you find love in his music. You find philosophy in his music. You find culture in his music. You find tradition in his music.
Think about the lyrics, the beatings, and the way they put them together. If you listen to King Sunny Ade's music, it's always relevant.
King Sunny Ade is an advocate of unity and peace for the development of Nigeria.
Make we make this our great nation, Nigeria, great. My people, if we do better, we will chop better.
The older generation of fans of King Sunny Ade advised upcoming musicians to emulate Sunny Ade, whose many musical albums have remained evergreen.
Ọ̀rọ̀ ńlá ló délẹ̀ yìí, tá bá lè ṣojúṣe wa Nàìjíríà á dáa. Àsìkò ti tó láti bára wa sọ̀rọ̀, a ní láti bára wa sọ̀rọ̀ ara wa.
70 hearty cheers to the King, Sunny Ade. You are a blessing to the nation. It is true that over 50% of the time women are at the receiving end of gender-based violence. Because the trend is not abating, some men have raised their voices over violence against women. The details on this will come after this timeout. Stay on the line.
A famous boxer once said, "The fight is won long before you step into the ring." It takes massive investment, dedication, planning, and during fierce competition, never backing down. In 2005, Glow invested in the world's only privately owned undersea data cable, then connected this to its extensive fiber optic network throughout Nigeria, which seamlessly delivers flexible and affordable data plans for everyone, making Glow Nigeria's largest data network in new subscriptions. You see, it's not what you step into the ring with that makes you the master. It's everything you did to get you there. Enjoy our new data overload. Double your data on every plan, like 6 gigabytes for 2,000 naira, 12 gigabytes for 3,000 naira, and 24 gigabytes for 5,000 naira. Dial star 777 hash to select a plan. The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
It's truck month at Ford, and we've got a Ranger just for you, Vincent. Here's the Workhorse 2.5 petrol single cab with free Ford Protect, a 4-year, 120,000 kilometer service plan. Or the 2.5 petrol-based double cab with 800mm water wading capability, available in manual transmission and with free Ford Protect. So while stocks last, visit Koscharis Motors today. Because, wait for it, thanks Vincent, we've got a tough Ford Ranger just for you.
Now here's the thing about books. They're good, they help you learn, but sometimes can be too heavy. Too many. Sometimes too complicated.
So we created a fun and easy way to learn. We've gone even further to create something for everyone. Introducing the ClickWrite World. Now you too can access loads of interesting textbooks to improve your grades, easy to learn educational videos, past questions, and exciting games, safely protected by parental guardians feature. So visit www.clickwriteworld.com.ng. Log in from any phone.
Chai, I don't enter one chance, so which kind of wahala be this? You sef, you no sabi the correct wazo milk?
Hollandia Eva, wazo back, shikini money, yeah. Wazo, milky way demo. Wazo, shikini money for more. Wazo, milky way demo. Shikini money for more. Milky way making sense. Shikini money. Naija, no let your wazo enter one chance, so choose Hollandia Eva, shikini money, more milk.
Welcome back. Several times on this program, we've talked about the extinction of Nigerian languages and other aspects of our culture. We blame the trend on the importation of Western culture. But how about this trend where a lot of Nigerian children and even adults are lost in the big cities and towns because they don't go back to their towns and villages even on visits? Many Nigerian children do not know where they are from. This, if you ask me, fuels the gradual extinction of aspects of our cultural heritage. Well, Annie Daniels tackles the issue in this report.
It is natural for people to migrate from one place to another, especially when they are searching for greener pasture. What this means is that they leave their places of birth, state or village of origin, and more often than not, head for the big city. They settle down there, and these days, we observe that many Nigerians who have settled elsewhere do not do as much as visit their hometowns or take their children back to know their origin.
Maybe they don't have parents at home that are still living, or some people, maybe because of the nature of their job, they are busy or so.
Some of them are married to other tribe, so because of that, they don't travel, especially the women. Some old men, when you bring your children home, they will cast some evil thing in the life of the children. Some even see you that maybe you travel home with a vehicle for the first time. In fact, they will do something that will make you, when next they are coming, you won't be able to come back with good things again.
My village people, they're wicked though. But not for where I dey. I know they do juju, I know they to go church, but I know really say that you go make me not do anything I want to do for my village.
These respondents do not agree with this.
Wizards exist not only in the villages. It goes beyond, because it's a universal thing. It is not only the village that you have the power of darkness. It's everywhere.
Like me, so when I don't also, I know they fear my village. I can go my village. Now my village is my village. I can go. Nothing good happen with me.
Edith Olise is 22 years old. She lived in Lagos all her life and has never been to her village.
My father was kind of afraid. He said all this the evil things that they do at home. So because of that, it refused for us to go home. He said we should stay in Lagos so that those evil things at home won't affect us.
She is not alone in this.
Daddy was supposed to take us out when I was in junior secondary school, but I guess he changed his mind, so we couldn't go to our hometown. Although I've passed through it before when I was going to Port Harcourt.
Why would not been there because my village people here they are bad. Even if I've not been there like this, but I've heard stories from there before, and it's a very, very bad story.
Since I lost my parents at a very short interval, I lost my father. A few months later, my mother died. And since then, I got discouraged from visiting home.
Knowing that traditionally, many Nigerians prefer to celebrate the marriage of their children, especially of their daughters, in their hometowns or villages, how will not knowing one's village affect this?
You find it difficult because you won't see any elder that will accompany you to where you want to get married to. And but that is why you see some doing their traditional wedding in Lagos or any state they may find themselves.
It leads to brothers and sisters getting close relationships that lead to marriage because they don't know their origin, they don't know their relations.
Thinking about this more seriously, who should introduce children born and bred outside of their origin to these places?
Everything depends on their parents.
This is the woman.
These respondents do not understand the hue and cry over people not returning to their villages, even for visits.
Nigeria is a liberal state, so we could, wherever you are, you could participate in elections and all. So it doesn't really affect them, except that they are cut off from their roots and they don't know their people.
Well, as for me, I visit my village as often as time permits without fear of order have been expressed by respondents in this report. Maybe those who fear of being hurt should seek the face of God for protection. By the way, Becky, when was the last time you visited your village?
I knew she was going to drag me in. Annie, I was at my village the last time I was summoned. You can ask my kingsmen, okay? On a more serious note, we must make a conscious effort to visit our villages on a regular basis. Don't forget that there is no place like home. Next up, this incident took place in the ancient city of Kano. It is the harrowing tale of a woman named Amina Nasiru. Someone reportedly came into a residence where she was with her husband and attacked her in a most vicious way. As I speak, Amina is in hospital in critical condition, while the assailant is nowhere to be found. For the evil done to Amina, here is Adiza Mohammed with the details. We advise viewer discretion because some of the visuals are graphic.
This is the window where the barbaric act was committed. When Amina Nasiru and her husband Nasiru Suleiman left Enkaba to Enlemo, a suburb of Kano State, little did they know that there was danger lurking around. It all started on the 1st of this month when Amina had left the bedroom to check whether her phone was charging in the sitting room. On coming back, Amina and her husband noticed someone sprinkle some substances on them through the window. On realizing that it was acid and in the midst of the confusion, they were rushed to the Amina Kano Teaching Hospital where Amina is reeling with shock and trauma. However, for the husband, he was seen last Saturday after his visit to the wife. Dr. Bashir Ibrahim of the Plastic and Reconstructive Unit, Amina Kano Teaching Hospital, speaks.
She was brought in after an assault with a chemical that burns upper part of her body and the chest with part of the back, and she was resuscitated in emergency.
He also speaks on the extent of the acid attack.
She may require like up to 10 surgery or more than that, depends on the situation. They are all major surgery because the entire face was burned, and including the eyes and the ear, the nostril, the mouth, they're all burned, and the neck, the chest wall. So it involves a lot of surgery to reconstruct the face back.
Magaji Musa Madia is the Police Public Relation Officer, Kano Command.
We are still making contact to get the husband as well as the relative of the wife so that we can get more information to unravel this mysterious act. And it is very interesting as all this is happening. It is bringing us more light about this investigation.
Amina's relations and a neighbor described her as a woman of substance.
On the fateful night of the incident, Evelyn and I could not come out.
She's my sister. She don't have problem with anybody. We are together more than 28 years. But
an indigene of Kaduna State, Amina, who sells wrappers and children's clothing, is appealing to Nigerians to save her from this tragic incident.
The prime suspect and cohorts are still at large. When something new comes up, you'll be duly informed. Now, we have reported several cases of violence against women, some of which have led to death. The trend is a global concern which governments and non-governmental organizations are doing everything to contain. Because the incidence is still high, it is men who are now lending their voices to the cry on violence against women. This year, the men have done something unique. We shall see what is in this report by Musa Toliat.
According to United Nations statistics, not less than 70% of women globally have experienced various forms of violence at least once in their lifetime. In Lagos State, despite several steps and laws to check the prevalence of domestic and sexual violence, statistics show that there is a growing number of survivors of the menace.
8 years ago, that's continued at any little opportunity, you beat me up.
I was attacked by someone I bought a pair of shoes from. So he called me, he was going to be a client, and he attacked me.
The next thing he did was to hit me on my tummy, which led into a serious bleeding. And if I had spoken out for a very long time, it wouldn't have led to me losing my 7 months of pregnancy.
The high prevalence of violence against women globally has prompted some men to do something to stop the trend. They took a bold step to emphasize responsible masculinity. These men are now championing the cause of advocacy against their fellow men who take delight in battering and abusing women. In some countries, they embarked on awareness walks in women's high-heeled shoes to drive home the fact that women must be respected and not molested. The men of Lagos State are not left out in the campaign. They were led by the state governor.
As men, we must stand up and speak in one voice, condemning this act. No more will we condone or tolerate pedophiles, women beaters, and rapists. It is inhuman and totally unacceptable.
We must take action against violence when observed and contribute to shifting and changing the existing culture of violence.
Done with reading the Riot Act, Governor Ambode led an all-men rally, distributing flyers and posters on the streets, sensitizing the public on the rights of women to safety. After watching from the sidelines, some women expressed their feelings.
These men are the husbands of the women. Some of these women who are victims of one sexual violence or the other. So they should be at the forefront so that people will not say that the men too have connived to support their own sex, ensuring that this ill remains a permanent fixture in our society.
There's a need to engage them constructively, not just engaging them as the problem, but engaging them as part of the solution.
Men who feel they can do it and get away with it, they should beware. Lagos State is after them. It's not business as usual.
And kudos to those men as they keep spreading the message. I stand to be corrected that there are some Nigerian children and even adults who have never seen the Naira and Kobo coin. Is a coin no longer legal tender in Nigeria? Let's take another commercial break and come back with that report.
Much less this. And this. And this. And this. And this. Help reclaim our Commonwealth. Lend your support to the fight against corruption for a better Nigeria.
Every goal, every success deserves your all. Only 100% will do. Chivita, 100%. Chivita 100% juice. Made from real natural fruits. With no preservative and no added sugar. The best always believes in 100%.
Chivita, 100% or nothing.
Finally, the masquerade has been unveiled.
As a former two-time governor of Edo State, I said it before that the next governor will also come from this family. Our brother, our son, Osage Izeyamu. And I want to assure you that come the 28th, we can come and celebrate tomorrow.
Next year will be greater. Amen. It will be the state that will be hosting the birthday.
You heard him. Osage Izeyamu to make Esama's birthday an Edo State event from next year. Who knows? He could even declare it a public holiday. Edo people, treasury looters must not be allowed to return to power. We are wiser now. This message is cut.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Alokachiyayi, Ogeruola. Change begins with you and me. Oh, change begins with me. Oh, change begins with me. Oh, change begins with me.
The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
The National Council on Finance and Economic Development, NACOFED 2016, will be holding its annual conference in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Finance. Theme of the conference is enhancing revenue generation and obtaining best value for money in expenditure. Participants: all state commissioners of finance, all state accountants general, all state permanent secretaries of finance ministries, all state commissioners of budget and planning, all state chairman board of internal revenue, all state permanent secretaries, budget, and all other finance stakeholders. Goodwill message by former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo GCFR. Keynote address by His Excellency Senator Ibikunle Amosun, CON FCA, Executive Governor of Ogun State. Welcome address by Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, Honorable Minister of Finance. Date 27 to 28 September 2016. Venue Green Legacy Resort, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Time 8 a.m. daily. Announcer Local Organizing Committee.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the program of events to commemorate Nigeria's 56th independence anniversary. Detail of the low-key program is as follows. Friday, 30th September, public lecture 11 a.m. to 12:50 p.m. Venue, National Mosque, Abuja. Attendance is open. Jumat prayers 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Venue, National Mosque, Abuja. Attendance is open. Saturday, 1st October, Presidential Change of Guard. Venue, forecourt of the Presidential Villa, State House, Abuja. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Bolaji Adebi, Director Press, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Announcer.
Thanks for staying on the line. Now, coins are part of legal tender in this country, but really they are nowhere to be found. Why is this? When children are taught mathematics in school in Naira and Kobo, the Kobo will only be in their imagination because they have never seen the Kobo coin. Where are the coins? That is the question Amici Pius was sent to find answers to.
The search for the smaller denominations of the Naira can be described as a wild goose chase. For several hours, the Newsline crew combed major parts within the Lagos Business District in search of the 1 Naira and 50 Kobo coins.
There's no coins. I don't saw coins now, more than 2 years or 3 years.
I've seen it in my life, but for the past 10 years, I've not seen it again.
Because I don't see 1 Naira now. It's over, let's say, 5 years.
People don't spend coins again now, they spend Naira, paper.
From their responses, it's obvious that these smaller units of the nation's legal tender have gone out of circulation. Coins, which are usually used by low-income earners, were nowhere to be found. From the petty trader by the roadside to the commercial bus driver, the story is the same.
I can't think of anything I will buy and I will use coins.
But family, before, coins do buy any small something like groundnut, sweets, biscuits. What again? Even you add many coins and buy acacia and eat it with biscuit. As that.
Now they buy now nothing like 5 Naira something, even sweet Sweet na 10 naira.
The absence of coins has therefore forced producers and vendors of goods to round up the value of their goods to a higher denomination that is acceptable to avoid unnecessary hassle for change.
The coin is not very portable compared to the notes, and because of the weight of the coins and given the level of devaluation of the local currency, so for you to carry the quantity of coins that will be of material value to you, you need to have a large quantity of coins.
Consequently, prices of goods and services have become progressively inflated, a situation which economic experts attribute to the disturbing inflationary trend in their country. The situation also compounded by the fact that most commercial banks in the country no longer pay customers in coins when they make withdrawals. Not even the central bank's directive to banks that 2% of cash holdings of banks should be primary denomination was enough to change Nigerians' apathy to coins.
The experience I had with them is that if you put them in your pocket, because it's so heavy, it's tear your pocket.
Over time, the value of Nigerian currency has eroded, like I mentioned earlier. And unlike what we had in the 70s, where the divisibility of the currency was to smaller fractions, and those fractions had value.
Investigations reveal that the same Nigerians who have refused to embrace the use of coins gladly make use of the coins of foreign countries like the United States and England when they visit these countries. The question on the lips of everyone, therefore, is where are the coins in Nigeria?
It's ironic that Nigerians are comfortable carrying foreign coins, yet shown.
And by Nigerians.
Let us stop condemning things that we have. Rome wasn't built in a day. All over my body, the only thing that is not made in Nigeria is my wristwatch, unfortunately. But what I want to tell you, that each and every one of us today, Nigerian rebirth starts from you and I.
As part of the event, there was a debate session where the panelists, among whom was the Director General of NTA, represented by the Executive Director of Programs, Eugenia Abu, were tasked to proffer solutions on how to grow the wealth of Nigeria. The question they had to respond to was, what is the secret of Nigeria's wealth?
Most countries that don't have the kind of rich cultural heritage that Nigeria has made money out of their culture and out of their heritage. I think it's the secret wealth we need to look again. It's the best you can find anywhere in the world.
Nigerians have some unique characteristics that you cannot find anywhere in the world.
Enough of waiting for people to make you important. What can you do by yourself to create that change?
The group's national coordinator, Isaac Balami, itemized some of their activities.
We empower people and we also unite people. That is a dream.
As part of the Rebirth Nigeria project, a television reality show titled The Labor Room was unveiled. It is aimed at repositioning the mindset of Nigerians.
And kudos to NTA, we keep winning. Have you observed that when an event is built to start at a particular time, most Nigerians will get there at least 2 hours after the time? They feel no qualms about it and in fact would carelessly say they are only keeping to Nigerian time. What would you call this? Indiscipline? Well, let's pay attention to this report on Nigerian time by Annie Daniels. I'm afraid we can't bring you that now. We'll take a short break and come back. Stay with us.
This is where it all begins. Carefully roasted by fire. Mixed with the purest of water. When everything cools down. Go ahead, taste the real full brewed side of stout. Legend, the real deal. Drink responsibly.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts.
They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today.